about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. Over 20 years of experience in information technology, including 4.5 years as IT manager at Let's Get Check. No other than Mr. Alejandro Sansevieri or Mr. Alex.
Thank you for the introduction. Appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me. Uh, Always looking forward to get talk about a little bit more of the inside of things that we need to educate ourselves, right?
Yes, definitely educate ourselves. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world so that we will be educated. Mr. Alex, thank you. And today let's talk about the more we understand our needs. This statement implies that we don't understand our needs. What is the most common barriers, cultural or psychological or social, that prevent us from truly knowing that we need, Mr. Alex?
Definitely, and that's something that we kind of somehow dread about us, right? As a person, as an individual, and because there are things that we really need, but we don't really want to deal with, to be honest with you. So
Hmm.
that's number one. And but knowing that getting there and going through the challenges will get us, um, and I won't say a lot faster, but understanding why do we need and why do we need to go through that, because not everything is smooth sailing, I will say, right? There
Yes.
are things that we don't want to do, don't like it, and but once we see that going across those hurdles will get us there in a more understanding way. What is it that we need? That's important, right? And we do have a sample of that sometimes during a brand new, I would say, client or new potential. We spend quite a bit of time getting getting to know the client. What is it that you usually do? Uh, what why do you call us? What is it that you need from us? And that's important because there is so much in tech over there that it can get pretty, I would say, confusing. And there's so many skill sets around that path that it gets overwhelming. And so that's part of it. And to be honest, there are some points that we came across some points on, like with this. That's not what we actually do, but we do recommend other fields, other people. So that's why not they being the guide to get you where you need to go. That's really the whole point.
Mm, yes, definitely. And Mr. Alex, how do we begin to differentiate between a deep, authentic need and a surface level want or a coping mechanism we mistaken for a need?
For sure, for sure. And one of them is just to flat out start writing. I go through that myself. I start writing things that I enjoy doing and things that I don't, and why those things they need to commingle together, and that's how we get to the final phase. And then try to understand why those things that they are somehow being procrastinated about doing will get us in a better position than if we don't do it. And those are the pressure points that we need to kind of emphasize ourselves. And the thing about that, and I think really that's the final end, is once we get to a point that we understand why do we need to accomplish those goals, especially the ones that we don't like, then we'll feel a lot better about ourselves doing it, because then we know that our final goal will be set based on those pressure points. And once you not be uncomfortable about that, uh, things get flowing a lot easier, right? So that's really a big important part of it.
A big important for sure. And can you walk us through a practical exercise or line of questioning someone could use to start uncovering their own core needs, especially in a specific area of life where they can feel stuck or dissatisfied?
Yeah, definitely. Especially on the tech side, right? We
Mm-hmm.
have this password challenge, right? And that's something that everyone in the world right now is dealing with. Is how am I going to manage that? It's crazy. First of all, we even go the route of having all the same passwords for everything, which is the big risk taker on our end. To start differentiating those levels, to start knowing that there are products out there that it will actually manage those challenges for you in a very easy manner. And why do we need to do that? And once we understand that part, and once we get break to that path, then we it makes life so much easier. And I know it's not that easy once you're not in the tech field. But if you start exercising those steps, once you get there on the final phase, you're like, how come I didn't do this sooner? You know, and
Mm-hmm.
so there are products out there that you only need one password, very complex that you will learn and you can actually make up, and just to cover all your needs for all the levels. And the beauty of that is once you get to that phase, then you will have different passwords for everything that you do, and that is golden, especially nowadays. That is golden.
Totally golden. Golden, people. And let's talk about the personal impact from insight to change. Once we clearly identify a core need, say for autonomy or creative expression, what typically happens next? How does the clarity naturally begin to reshape our decision and behavior? Mr. Alex?
Yeah, and that's a big part of it, right? It is so complex that you kind of get overwhelmed and your brain shuts down, right? And but we had to go back to I would say uh, a lesson that we learned when we were kids. So we were learning back in the days we have phone numbers, right? And those numbers were pretty much long. They're 9 digits numbers. But what did we do in our brain to actually capture those numbers? Those numbers we actually remember by 3 sets amount, and then we kind of repeat ourselves, and then we kind of go through it and repeat it once and twice, and then we'll get it. This is kind of the same process, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you didn't want to forget back in the day probably your mom's phone number or your grandpa's phone number. What we did is we segregated in three digits, and things like that can kind of we can apply to pretty much everything. We don't have to do the big jump in 24 hours, but we need to start doing it. That's really the key. Start doing whatever you want to do. You don't have to run a marathon of 5 kilometers, but why don't you start with 5 blocks? Why don't you start with 3 blocks? Because really, the kickstart is the beginning of accomplish those 5 kilometers or the 10 kilometer run. But if you don't do and you just think about it, you have to take action.
Hmm. Take the action, people. Take the action. And in your experience, Mr. Alex, what's the most profound personal transformation you've witnessed that began with someone simply gaining clarity about single unmet need they had been ignoring?
Okay. Um, my 30 is on that, and sometimes works out very well. It's I always trying to get a report and that person what is it that he likes or they like, right? So and you create an analogy based on that. Some people like surfing, so we start talking about winds, we start talking about waves, we start talking about weather, we start talking about things that they really like. Based on that, then I will start accommodating some of the ideas that we need to kind of apply to that project on that, and that's a really good way to kind of make sure that we base their idea and stuff that they really enjoy. And then we go, okay, so if you plan all that, when you go surfing, let's say, you then the day before you start checking weather, what conditions, you start checking, weather reports, you start checking these sources, that source, what am I gonna wear, what time is the best time that we could go, and so you take a plan action. Well, those same plan actions we can just kind of start biting to whatever we're trying to accomplish, and that's how we start building um, the idea of accomplishments on whatever projects we need to do. Because that really is the trigger of all of us, right? Some people like music. There's time in music, there's math in music, there's all those variables that we never thought about it, but they are there. And we need to kind of concentrate those points, the common interest points, to start moving in that direction.
How does understanding our own needs fundamentally change how we communicate and set boundaries in our key relationship, both personal and professional?
Set deadlines. For sure, set deadlines. Uh, you cannot talk a whole month about when I'm going to start, walking or running. You say, okay, tomorrow, 8 o'clock p.m. or 8 o'clock a.m., I'll be in that corner, start walking, and just do it. Just do it once, and give yourself an opportunity to start taking action. Sometimes we just don't do that. Oh, we create ourselves our own barriers, right? Oh, it's too cold. It's too hot. It's this and that. No, well, just set that straight out and make sure that that appointment, it's you're committed to that and you do it. And once you accomplish that, then you start understanding that it's not that hard after all. That thing that I had in my head, it was really those ideas were just a blockage that we kind of make ourselves not to take action on that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Mr. Alex, interesting indeed. Needs in relationship and community. How does understanding our own needs alter our capacity for empathy and our ability to accurately perceive the needs of others?
Interesting topic. I really always try to define their final goal and the idea that how they want to accomplish that, and I think that's really sometimes a major miscommunication pattern, right?
Mm-hmm.
What it can be successful for one person, it does not apply to all, right?
Yes.
Some people they say they're successful because they have a lot of money. Some people they say they're successful because they they have that big car, or they have or they travel all over the world, or they spend time with that person that really want to spend time. So you really need to ask to that other person, how would you feel accomplished doing what you're trying to do? How do you feel? Think about your final goal and tell me, when would you feel that that goal was accomplished, or how? And once you get that picture, then you just move forward on that path. And because really, most of the times it's not about what we think; it's about what their goals are. And that once you get to that idea, once you get to the final goal on their mind, what is it that they feel they are accomplished, then you move forward with working on that.
Mhm. Move forward and let it go, people. Move forward. And could a greater collective understanding of human needs be antidote to societal polarization? How might it change public discourse on difficult issues, Mr. Alex?
I think we need to listen more, to be honest with you. I think sometimes humans will try to kind of accomplish talking, and really that's not it. It's about listening. It's about understanding, and and uh, and yeah, unfortunately, we have that in our minds that the more we talk, the more we make our point, which is totally wrong. It's not really about that. It's about taking the time and say, okay, tell me how you get that challenge. Why you think that's a challenge? Tell me more details about that. And because we just, after all, we all want to be listened to. Really, it's not about other people's ideas. It's about what you feel about it. And sometimes getting that person that moment, just it's giving them their own time, their own therapy time. And sometimes they solve themselves. Really, how many times we sit in the car and we talk to ourselves about situations, and sometimes we kind of come up with an answer, or we just let it go and say, "Well, let's go back to it tomorrow." So, same thing with human interaction. Listen to it more. See what how they feel about it. What is it that they want to do that, and ask questions. Ask questions about why do they feel that they want to go in that direction. Why they feel they want to do this, and so you get all that picture by yourself.
By yourself. So, Mr. Alex, what are your short term and long term goals?
Short term goals. Enjoy life. Really, that's the main thing, right? Just
Enjoy
being
life.
present. Really, being present, and that's one thing where sometimes we tend to forget, right? So just being present where you are and enjoy every minute of it, because none of us has our calendar bought out, and so there's so many things working in our bodies to just to keep that machine going, right? That we tend to forget. So uh, get to that level. It's very important. Long-term goals. Try to uh, spread out whatever I know to all the people that they're interested in and on that topic, and that's really important. Just try to leave something, a seed somewhere that makes people think or say, hey, he tried somehow, and maybe that was not the right direction, but try to send a message to the community and give whatever you can to them, because really, after all, we are here for a little bit of time, right? So it's let's do that, and I think we'll get a more peaceful and more quality life in this world, for sure.
Yes, people, yes, because life is too short. So seize your day. And Mr. Alex, thank you for that goals and looking forward for more success and good luck to it. And what will be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
Keep trying, keep trying. Do not give up. I know sometimes failures can be hurtful, but sometimes they're not failures. They're just another step, and this at the right direction, and we just need to kind of guide it. It's like a plane, right? From
Mm-hmm.
Los Angeles to Hawaii, it makes sometimes I think it was like 400 corrections during that flight. So it's a matter of just keep moving. It's a matter of keep flying and just to get to destination. And once you understand that, you know that for sure, well, you'll get there regardless. And in those corrections, you learn things. You learn what to do things and what not to do things, and that's the biggest part of it. Don't be too hard on yourself. Sometimes we're kind of like, oh,
Yes.
I wish I would have done that. Hey, guess what? Now you know. Don't touch the fire; you get burned. you know. Don't
Mm-hmm.
touch the candle, like our parents say when we were kids.
Yes, people, be lenient to yourself.
Yeah.
And thank you for that advice, Mr. Alex. And can you please recommend a book of books that influence your journey?
Yeah, once since I'm in the tech field, I really was kind of grown up and impressed about a book called Future Crimes, and that book was more about how the world is changing in technology, and why do we need to keep to ourselves and to our families updating and catching up with things. That book was written a long time ago, I think like 15 years ago. And up to this day, I always learn something from that book. Um, it's it's by Mark Goodman, and there is also an Audible version of it, and and he's also an Audible. You can actually get that too as well, and that he has many details about why do we need to be on check, and
Mm.
but like I said, not only for ourselves, it's for our families and our friends.
Mr. Alex, thank you for that recommended book. So, how do we balance the pursuit of understanding our individual needs with a sense of duty, responsibility, or service to something larger than ourselves?
Getting back to the same, I think the same answer is trying to listen more than talking, and that's the important part of it. And because really our brain sometimes give us so many clues, but if we start talking about our issues and making sure we listen, uh, things will get a lot better for sure.
A lot better. Definitely, yeah. So, can you or can an ever focus on our own needs become a self indulgence or narcissistic? Where is the line between healthy and self understanding and self absorption?
Yeah, for sure. I always we started with with home, and we start home talking, and our biggest therapy is since we are somehow Italian descendant families, make sure that we're uh, dinner time is kind of a must,
Mm-hmm.
and so that really helps out, and also with our coworkers, right? We do have our weekly and our daily meetings with people one on one, and those things really make a big difference in keeping our team together in both fronts. Uh, Having a balance on that, and work and life balance is always important, and we don't want to be regarding those those questions marked about people, and give our family time that space they need, and also keeping our team at work happy and with the same boundaries, right? Spending time with family and friends and have that quality of life. And that's the important part of it.
Mr. Alex, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in sixth season. Abstract poetry in third season, and Mob Book 101 review in sixth season as well. Comedy 101 third season, and Mob Food 101 in sixth season too. Geography 101 love letters, movie 101 review, music 101 of fifth season, science 101, sex 101 fourth season, and my baby podcast trivia 101, law 101, mental health 101, motivation 101, entrepreneurship 101, and Bible verses 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Alex, if you could magically instill a deeper understanding of personal and collective needs in the next generation, what is one change you believe we could see in the world 50 years from now?
I think understanding more generation gaps, it's important. And sometimes we get to a level that we just don't quite understand it because the changes are too big, and that's really important to know, you know. And my question on that is, what did you do when you were 20, right? So,
Yes.
yeah, don't criticize too much and just keep on moving, watch and recommend, and just give suggestions. That's all.
Give suggestions for sure because life is too short. People, build your legacy to the world. So, Mr. Alex, could you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your projects, or anything you want to promote on Book 101?
Yeah, be ready. We're always here to help. 911datahelp.com. It's a good place to start, but you can always email us to info@911datahelp.com, and we'll get you covered, protecting your business in cybersecurity and your network needs.
Yes, definitely. And one more question, Mr. Alex. Ultimately, is understanding our needs and itself or its primary tool the most reliable compass we have for rebuilding, fulfilling life, and functional society?
For sure, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Alex, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Daniel. We'll keep in touch. Take care.
Yes, Moticon people, see you soon. So, Mr. Alex, don't forget to what happened?